Hey folks, welcome to the first custom lesson. This was requested by Sorathorn Suthanapan. My apologies if I butchered that. But he is requesting that I use Tonfa with the heavy weapon, which you can see the heavy weapon I decided to pick, as well as the soul cores listed. So I'm using Magatsu Warrior, Kiryoki, and Ippon. So I'll just briefly detail these cores, what I think the most important things are, and what room for creativity you're more than welcome to have. I always like to have Yokai Ability Key Pulse and Life Drain Yokai Ability Hit. That's just something I prefer, but you can swap that out. Again, I think those two are very important. Here, the Kiryoki, these are just whatever you want, whatever you can get on there that you consider is good for the extra benefits, go for it. For Ippon itself is a very powerful core, but I specifically like having Anima charge bonus based on Amrita Gauge. I think that is really handy, and if you can get this specific roll on one of your cores per Guardian Spirit, you're in really good shape. The rest is all luxury stuff. Other than that, get your soul core ranks up to 30 if you can, and go from there. I'll explain in a bit why I picked Itokuri. Actually, I should showcase that right now. So one thing with Itokuri is that it imbues your yokai abilities with paralysis. And what's really cool with Magatsu and Kiryoki, well here, maybe I should just show you with Kiryoki. Check this out, ready? Paralysis Shockwave, buddy. Paralysis Shockwave. So it's really handy for that purpose. Magatsu Warrior does work as well. If you just go for the 6th tier version, you will usually just paralyze your target the first time. But if you go for the 9 Anima version, you'll usually knock a target out, unless, I guess, you get a little bit lucky. But yeah, just being able to inflict paralysis is super, super awesome. And that's why I think Itokuri is a great choice. And then Ippon is, of course, your stagger core by default. But let me again show you the value of having Kiryoki as an AoE paralysis shockwave. So I'm just going to pull in multiple targets together. I won't pick the Yoki. Let's pick these 3 together. Yeah, let's see if I can just line them up all quickly. You can paralyze a few targets at a time sometimes, which can be really, really awesome. So yeah, definitely a lot of fun, especially in group fights. As you can see, some enemies are resistant, others are not. But being able to paralyze enemies all in front of you with Kiryoki or Magatsu is super awesome. Ippon doesn't get this effect, but in all honesty, I think it'd be pretty crazy if on top of being able to stagger enemies and inflict fire, that it could also paralyze. So, pretty cool, huh? So what you can do is if you need a little breather and want to, say, get a target up for 2 grapples, you're more than welcome to do so. And it can feel pretty rad. Let's showcase it against the Yoki, just the ability to chain loop things over and over again. One thing I do need you to bear in mind is that in the dojo, enemies are going to be far more likely to get paralyzed than otherwise. So bear that in mind. It is helpful to chain loop them with paralysis, but this is not accurate whatsoever to what's really going to happen in gameplay. But nonetheless, being able to proc paralysis off on a target is super good. Now let me showcase some yokai shift things you can do with the feral form, which I think are pretty cool. So I'll bring this guy up yet again. And I will get to weapon play in a bit specifically. Oh, god dang it, I missed my yokai shift time. My apologies, I'll just get them out here. I know what can send them away. Wait, really? He didn't leave that time? That was awkward. Okay, that was awkward. I'm bolting board nothing. So, you can use Ippon as a major key damage source. Alright, let's transition to yokai shift. And then what I like to do is use the Guardian Spirit alongside Kiryoki to really set them up to die. It does require a little bit of spacing. That is one thing I must make you aware of. The Guardian Spirit skill, you gotta sometimes have a little distance. See right there, and you got a little bit of a stagger, and then you can paralyze. So it can help to create that distance. Of course, constant paralysis helps. But yeah, bear that in mind when you use the Guardian Spirit skill. So enough about feral stuff. Let's talk about Brute. So Brute, the following was, I picked Isanagami, and I'll showcase some really cool things with that, but you can see the soul cores that I have in question. So my Gyuki is literally just the Gyuki I got, I think, the first time I played the game. So get a better Gyuki so that you can take advantage of things like a better anima bonus on a poisoned enemy. So if you want to have some poison synergy, just extra damage, go for it. And then here's an overlap between this Guardian Spirit. Melee damage versus saturated enemy, great. And melee damage versus saturated enemy, awesome. So you can have that synergy going, and then this happens to be waters. This and Itokuri are both water-based Guardian Spirits, so if you want to run some sort of a water build, go for it. You'll get a lot of extra damage as well. But that's just kind of extra stuff. I'm again much more focused on how you can make things synergize together. That sounds redundant. Next up was Underworld Soldier. Most important stats, in my opinion, are the fact that it's Soul Core rank 30 and Yokai ability Key Pulse. Because getting that extra anima bonus on grapple is huge, and I wholeheartedly recommend you get this core up to the highest level that you can. Next is Ongyoki. The soul core rank really doesn't matter so much as opposed to the special effects. So you might be able to find some really crazy anima bonus or anima charge bonuses, so go for that. I, of course, like Life Drain Yokai ability hit, and this anima bonus synergizes with my normal character, which is why I have it, but I just, in all honesty, picked an Ongyoki that worked well. So you have a lot of freedom when it comes to the soul core stat assignments, and I'm not too picky upon that. Now let's showcase some things that you can do and you should know about when it comes to the soul cores in use. So Ongyoki, of course, provides stealth, and as you guys humorously saw, it teleported the target away. But now I'm going to showcase how you can set things up with certain soul cores. So if you pay attention right now to Gyuki, I want you to pay attention to the soonest my character will Swirling Snow. Quite late. Alright, I'm gonna try to block. The soonest I can block is that, right? So it's a skill that you have to be prepared to throw out. So if you know you have a reliable amount of downtime, you can get a massive punish off when it comes to Gyuki. So it's one of those cores I find to be it's one of those things I only use in specific scenarios, unlike the other 4 cores. Underworld Soldier, even if it connects against Yoki, can present just a quick gap closer. Gyuki is a good punish for enemies that decide to dodge away. Many of them just do that on instinct. Also, if you know an enemy is going to commit to an animation, you can see it does a lot of stuff. A lot of power to it. It can inflict poison, so it can be pretty rad. So it's definitely one of those weird cores to kind of work into your gameplay, but it's a very powerful tool. Ongyoki is a pocket smoke bomb. As you saw, I prevent getting myself hit, but it despawned that specific individual. Now, let's talk about Yokai Shift stuff. I want to show you kind of a really neat interaction that I've had utilizing Yokai Shift when it comes to the brute form. Just like a simple combo that you can work in. So let's deplete Ki. Alright, so when I pop Yokai Shift, alright, creates a good amount of distance to do the following. Activate Guardian Spirit skill, use Gyuki. And then I can go into that, into Underworld Soldier. Just like one cool little combo that you can do on activation, and it can be ridiculous. See that? You've saturated him. And he's dead. So you can potentially inflict confusion, and that's one thing that's really nice about the specific Yokai Shift setup, is that you've got a lot of potential. So let me just give you a brief sample of what it's like to work with the Odachi and Tonfa. These are very effective against humans, but also, courtesy of the Odachi, it's pretty good against yokai as well. So Bolting Boar is awesome and can be used in many different scenarios. And then Undaunted, provided he actually hits me. Can you hit me, buddy? Undaunted is pretty nice. And against humans, it can be very valuable. So you can use that to help you transition into different sort of combos. Create some distance for Gyuki. Get a great amount of pressure. Paralyze the target, because why the frick not? And murder them. Showcase it against a human, in which this will be even more devastating, because you have a lot of different things going on. Like so. Create some distance, throw that out. Very nice, right? So, what do I think are some bread and butter plays with just Odachi Tonfa before you mix in Soul Cores? So, one thing that I find really effective is doing a bunch of attacks, and then as soon as you do a Demon Dash, do a Odachi Flash attack, and then dodge away. It's really crazy. So no matter what you're doing, you have a constant stream of pressure. Let me showcase that against a human. Alright, Demon Dash time into Odachi Flash. Alright, let's grapple into Kiryoki Shockwave. Yet again. Got some distance. Let's throw out some Gyuki. Odachi Flash attack, because you can't go wrong with that. Pretty brutal, huh? That's like one thing you can do. Do another example. Mountain Breaker. Let's Swallow's Wing back. Underworld Soldier when I dodge away. Ground Quake. Let's throw out a Gyuki. Let's go to Yokai Shift. And now I'm going to do the Guardian Spirit Gyuki yet again for some super serious power. Nice when it connects, but even if it doesn't, you've got a whole host of elemental pressure. Let's keep this going against this human opponent. Pretty nice, huh? If you need a little break, use Underworld Soldier. Got the charge going. And dead. Let's go back to the Yoki once more. I want to showcase transitioning between this and Barrel Form. Very nice. So switch forms. Alright, let's back away real quick. Guardian Spirit, let's do Shockwave. And, oh, he's dead. They need a bit more health. Alright, let's showcase that again. Nice little stagger, isn't it? Get back up for the paralysis. And super dead. So yeah, hopefully that should give you some ideas of what you can do. I don't think going through every single combo will be helpful, but I think being able to transition between each of the weapons will be helpful, and I think a simple tip can just be Demon Dash into Odachi Flash attack can be very quick, and then just dodge right after. Of course, being able to Bolting Bore enemies, counter attack, and delay all sorts of... I don't think delay is the right word, but I think being able to mitigate a lot of key damage with Undaunted is remarkable. And you can, once you're finished with Undaunted, you can transition to whatever you'd like. Here, let me show you maybe one more thing with Undaunted that could be cool. So, okay, let's knock him back, wait for him to hit, and then I'm going to try to use Gyuki. Oh, I thought he actually hit me. Try that again. Look at that dodge back, isn't that cool? Let's shock paralysis yet again. There you go. That should be a lot of fun. So now I think it's, instead of me just talking about things you can do, I'll just show you some actual gameplay with this stuff involved, which, as was requested, a bunch of yokai enemies. So hopefully this showcase can really inspire you to try this out. Thank you guys for watching, and now I'll shift over to the gameplay. Alright, it's time to showcase this in a Scroll of the Damned. I'll just show you the enemies that I decided to fight, because I was asked to fight yokai enemies. So first off, I'm starting with Ongyoki, which, if you know this particular scroll, it goes Ongyoki, Kinki, and then Tate Eboshi. So yeah, I try to go hard on this one. Now, one of the great things about this setup is that there's a lot of gap closers that I have, and a lot of ways to continuously pressure Ongyoki whenever it's low on ki. And As you can see, I'm using the Odachi flash attack business after Demon Dash. I'm using Underworld Soldier as a great gap closer. I wasn't able to deplete Ongyoki's ki, but it doesn't really matter when it's basically dead anyway. One interesting thing that I was not able to showcase in this clip is that you can bolting bore Ongyoki and get a lot of downtime to pressure him quite mercilessly. We've got two little Lightning Onibi, which I don't think are particularly memorable, so you know what, I'm just going to use the Umbral Bullet. Against Kinki, it's a little different. I gotta pay quite a bit of attention, but I am going for the non-stop pressure with Tonfa, since that's what it's really good at. And as you noticed, Kiryoki did a Paralysis Shockwave to give me a little breathing room so I can pressure this chump mercilessly. One thing I want you to pay attention to is that whenever I can, I will usually switch to the Brute Guardian Spirit to get a grapple because of Underworld Soldier. And ow, that butt slam hurt. Now let's again show you the utility of Magatsu against the Zero Ki Yokai. And yeah, I'm back to full, courtesy of things like Life Drain Active Skill, and I've got Poison up because of Gyuki, and then just using generally fast moves that have a lot of pressure attached to them to deal with someone as threatening as Kinki. Now, with the paralysis properties of Itokuri, I am able to deal with a 2v1 fight with two actually rather tanky Aberrant soldiers. And then you can still see I'm swapping to Brute to get that grapple, and then now it's one enemy. You know what? Let's get that Brute grapple for the extra anima that I get from Underworld Soldier, which is so good, and that's why I recommend you get that to Soul Core rank 30. We've got two Harinobos, not really a big deal. I'm just wasting them because we need to get to the real main course of this scroll, which is, as you're about to see, Tate Eboshi. And she's red, so it's gonna suck if this build doesn't work, right? I mean, it's going to, but I'm gonna show you. So, I'm taking advantage of Tonfa's Kanagi to really avoid all sorts of moments. This is going to be compounded by the Ongyoki Soul Core, which I will use multiple times throughout this fight. I was originally trying to go for like a super cool, like no-hit type thing, and then I realized, dude, no one's going to really be able to play like this on a consistent basis. So instead, I went for cool synergistic things. I was trying to go for a Gyuki effect there, but unfortunately, I didn't time it right. But one thing that's cool against Tate is that if she does like her little hops, I think she's gonna do a hop now, or maybe after this. Alright, so usually after like her combo, she kind of dodges away, and if you toss Gyuki there, you can catch her off guard and sometimes break her horn, which can be pretty cool. But here's an interaction that was really cool. So that paralysis stuff I was talking about, see I pop Yokai Shift. In regards to the Itokuri Guardian Spirit, I tried to use that at a distance, and then here's where it gets nutty. Using Kiryoki and Magatsu is able to get her down again to go into the Brute form, which is huge. I'm not able to use the Brute form as efficiently as I'd like to, but it's still pretty good. Just check this out. Guardian Spirit, go Gyuki, do a lot of max ki damage. I was hoping the Brutal Combustion would knock her down, but it didn't, so I decided, you know what, let's just use the rest of my Yokai Shift with the Soul Cores and just take the damage as I could. But for the most part, I'm staying close. I'm using those quick attacks that I talked about, like Tonfa play into Demon Dash, into Odachi Flash, being super extra with how much I commit to doing attacks, and then if I overcommit, I can just use Ongyoki. One thing I was trying to showcase here was Kubu's Call. Didn't go off because I didn't have enough ki. Well, then I just used Ippon because Ippon can't go wrong with that. One thing I was really trying to showcase was the value of Undaunted, but Tate Eboshi missed. If Tate Eboshi does hit you while Undaunted is active, you will actually not take as much ki damage as you might think. I'm at B toughness and I don't really take too much ki damage when Undaunted is on. But for the most part, it's just, I know her AI, I know that she's weak from behind when she's transitioning into the Dark Realm, and so I can take advantage of that. Now I believe I'm trying to set up a Gyuki. I think I do right now, yeah. I have quite a bit of downtime, and so I can throw out Gyuki quite safely to get some serious pressure. And look at that, I can overextend, I can get that grapple, I can get that anima back, and then I can still overextend. And then now what I need to be wary of is when Tate Eboshi is going to just spontaneously jump. This is what makes Ongyoki so valuable. And so I'm actually on the lookout for that. And so I'm primed my character to stay in Brute form. So I am anticipating she's going to leap up soon. Yep, she does. And so I safely just use Ongyoki in the nick of time to avoid a bunch of attacks. And then now I'm trying to get her out of ki, and I do. So I'm able to get those extra hits, transition to Brute to get extra anima. I can move back, I can use Ongyoki to safely avoid that attack, and just keep the non-stop pressure going. And then I do try to finish with Gyuki on its own, but I think just the distance I was at was just a little off, and I think I would have gotten the kill. But nonetheless, I secured the kill. So hopefully this showcase was informative and shows you what's possible with this stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time.